What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about KAVA today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it, my friends. Here we are. Looking at this low here, this relative low to this relative high. I don't even know. Should I take that low or should I take this low? I think it might be more appropriate to take this low just for all intents and purposes. So here we are below the 382 right now, below about 49.75 cents. I generally would expect that you would go down to your 61869 area, which is all the way down to about 46 to 45 cents. And that might happen. It's very possible that you could find support right here at about 48 cents where you're at now, just below 48 cents. There are a lot of cryptos recently have been finding support or resistance at their 50s. So in the 50, that's the 0.5 there. So it would make sense to do that, right? The 0.5, if we look right here, if I just put a line right there and I delete the fibs, it comes in line very well with this previous area of resistance here, previous areas of support, kind of in I was going to say the heart of this zone, but not really. It's like the upper third of this kind of zone. But support areas, previous resistance areas, it's possible that we could find support there. I want to look and see relative low to high here. You're finding support. This thing is weird with its fibs, man. It's almost like it doesn't care about the fibs, right? Like kind of at times, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm on the 4-hour time frame. Let's zoom out. Let's see if we can find something that might have more sustenance to it. That might make more sense. From a high to a low here. Yeah, there you go. 618 rejection, down to your 069 area, up to your golden ratio again, and now you're at your 382. Yeah, okay. So I personally, I don't believe that you go lower. If you do, you know, the lowest you go is like what, 46, 44 cents, somewhere in that area, just below 44 cents. It could happen. It's possible. But I'm thinking you probably find support here and likely KAVA. I mean, if you're looking to buy KAVA, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but here, man, at 8.5% to the downside today, I would think it's at a great area to buy. It looks like this is actually a really prime area to buy. And likely we're going to see a move up that would take you to 65 to 70 cents probably over the coming days by the end of this week. And then, of course, beyond that is what I'm expecting as well, right? I think that we will see prices in a very short amount of time that are worth multiple dollars, if not at least something that is above $1. You're at 48 cents now. Those are targets that I expect for the end of the month, if not going into March, and we'll explain that in a second. But I want to look at the relative stuff real quick. The 4-hour time frame, it does look rather bullish. And it would make sense to me that you probably find support soon, so that's nice. 1-hour time frame looks a bit weird, but you have lower lows here in the 1 hour and you have higher lows in the price. So as long as you're not closing on a 1-hour basis, let's say probably below this low here at 47.3, you can go below 47.3. The price could wick below there. That's okay. If you see prices below there, that's fine. But do not close below there, because if you close below there, that doesn't mean that you're not going to see higher prices than this. It just means it's going to take more time. Instead of doing something what I'm expecting you to do, which is like bounce and then move up right now, we're in this kind of momentary uptrend. Instead of doing that, if you were to close below this line, we might have a more significant retracement, something that could take you even below these lows here, if not some kind of form of a higher low at a lower price and then build later. Instead of going up now, it might be tomorrow or the next day. You know what I mean? So ideally, if we don't close a 1-hour basis or anything more significant than that below 47.3 cents, I think we're good. Here we are at 48.7 cents. It looks like we might be bouncing even. I need to put this video out, man, because I really do think it's a good time to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I love moves like this. I think it's weird whenever something moves down and it's got the big candles, but then at your stubby candle here where it's like kind of small, and not all of these candles are big, but your bigger candles were on the way down. Your small candle here, that's the one that got all the volume. That's kind of encouraging, right? Normally the one that has all the volume is the big candle, and that's validating to the downside. But whenever it's a small candle, it's like you're holding up here. You're in your oversold zone, a lot of volume coming in. And it's not a lot of volume. It's just more than average for what you see normally. Obviously, it's not like a lot of volume, but stuff like that, your volume's building, but it's at its highest peak. I wouldn't even say it's building. It just peaks at the relative low. That's encouraging. That's all I'm trying to say. Being that you're also in the oversold zone on your 15-minute time frame is encouraging as well. In fact, the last couple times that you've been down here, you found support, right? And let's actually look and see what you've done each of those times. So here you found support. You did go a little bit lower in that same day to come, so a little bit lower. here, you didn't touch it. Here, you found support right here, and you did go a little bit lower in that same day, probably in that same couple hour period there. And this would make sense, man. If you're here, you probably do go a little bit lower. Where to? About 4.73 cents, maybe even just down to, or sorry, 47.3 cents. Maybe you only go down to 48 cents. You're at 48.7 cents now, but something around 48 cents, if not just below there, is what I would expect. Something that is probably a low that's above these lows. I wouldn't even necessarily anticipate that we hit this line, but if we do, or even if we go below it, I think it's fine as long as we're closing above it. On a 15-minute time frame, it's okay if we close below it. On an hour or higher time frame, you don't want to do that, because if you do, it means we're going lower. That's all that means, right? So, and probably even then, not that much dramatically lower. Like if you buy here and we break below 47.3 cents, it's not going to go. I doubt it goes lower than 40 cents, right? It's not going to be anything too significant, just not ideal, right? You want to buy something and you want to see it go up immediately, right? You don't want to see it go down immediately. That's easier said than done. And actually, oftentimes, I feel like in my experience, whenever I buy something and it goes up immediately, it's probably a good time to sell, because then shortly after it actually does drop a little bit from a high to a low. All I'm saying by that last part is, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you've experienced this before. Every single time that you've had a loss or a losing trade or a position in something that is in the negative, was it not green at some point? Did you not have some form of gains at some point? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's very common. It's like every red move that I've ever had, anytime I've ever had to take a loss, if I just wasn't greedy, if I just took it whenever it was green, it could have been a profit. You know what I mean? I feel like that's very common. And oftentimes the ones that I profit on too, if I panicked or I sold, I could have claimed a loss, but instead I held through and got the gains. So it's all about conviction and mentality, man. But here we are at the 382. I really like this as a support area. Again, if we go a little bit below that, I'm not concerned at all. Daily time frame looks phenomenal. I like the weekly, or the daily RSI. I was about to say the weekly RSI. We're on the daily. I don't like that you're getting above the 60 and then getting back below it. It looks like we're below it now, but as long as today can close green, we will end up getting back above it. So that's kind of the goal, I suppose. We're down 9% as of now, 9.11%. If we can close the day green, we don't even need to close it that green. Just get back to neutral and close it green, or even maybe like 2% to the downside. I would assume that keeps us above the 60. Something up here, getting more readings up here, not just getting in and getting out, that would be encouraging. If we get in and get out, if we close today red and we close below the 60, that's not detrimental. It just also would likely convey the idea that we might not be ready to break out just yet. Okay, 48.2 cents. I got to put this video out, man, because I want people who are looking to buy to get in at a good price, right? And I say that it's at 48 cents now. Watch it go all the way down to like 40 cents or something like that. I'm very confident that was the. I don't think we go below these lows, so it might be a little bit daring, let's say, to say that it's a good time to buy here with all that volume you wicked up and now you're down. If you're trying to play this in a short-term kind of fashion and you want to limit your risks, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if I was doing a short-term position in this, which I am, I would probably let go of this thing if a day closed or a 4-hour period closed below 44.4 cents. If it closes below there, I would let it go. Why? Because it likely goes back to 35.5 cents, if not even lower than that. So that would be what conditions I'd have to meet to sell. But I don't think that'll happen personally. It wouldn't surprise me if we went down that low, but personally, I'm not expecting that, right? I'm personally not expecting that, but I certainly wouldn't expect that we close below that low. Based on this fib, the next target area would be the 786 to the 886, which is at 82 to 96 cents. Whenever you break above 96 cents, the 886 there, you likely are going to see a move that takes you all the way up to $1.74 to $2.96, potentially even higher than that. We zoom out, we look at KAVA for what it is. Oh, that's not the right chart. Let's get an all-time history chart on here. There you go. It has found a very perfect double bottom, okay, of which you're building from now on a weekly basis. You can see you've got support coming in at previous areas of resistance. The area that you consolidated at here, you literally are finding support at it now. It's very healthy structure, especially in culmination with this double bottom. I have a very good feeling about this project, you guys. I think that while it's been rather lackluster for most of this cycle, I think it's about to rip. I really do. And looking at the price, just looking at the price by itself, to me, the expected area to go to would be something around $1.06 to $1.43. We're at 48 cents now, so that makes sense both on a prior resistance area and a prior support area here, prior resistance, prior support in this area as well. If you were to exceed that zone, the next likely target area would be all the way at 256. And I wouldn't expect that you exceed that zone, right? If we take a high to a low here, that takes us into the golden ratio. Okay, that takes us right into the 61869. I'm actually going to delete all of these lines so that we can get the golden ratio, just observe it by itself, right? Golden ratio here, okay, right there. We bring it back, and you can see that that line, one of those lines based on price action, that would take us right up into that same area. So high to low targets are, we're at 48 cents now. I would suspect that we move up to something that's above $1. If we can get above $1.50, we likely don't stop until we're at about $2.30 to $3, okay? If you get above $1.50, we likely won't stop until we hit $2.30 to $3, okay? But in my opinion, we likely do stop at about $1.50, between $1.50 and about like $1.10, somewhere in that area, okay? I hope that makes sense. I don't really know if I have anything else that I want to say. I'm feeling a little bit delirious at the moment, you guys. I really do think that it's a great opportunity to buy right now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if I took profits up here, which I didn't, I would definitely be buying at this point, or layering my buy orders probably between here and just below 47 cents. Not below these lows, but just below, or not, sorry, not just below 47 cents, just below 48 cents. Yeah, I think we're very near the low now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I got nothing else to say, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Take it easy. Good luck. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.